Kai Havertz registered 9 goals last season for Arsenal and 3 assists despite missing a very big portion of the season with an injury. He scored 14 in there were 13 in his first season. That's quite impressive for someone who is just adjusting for a new role. We know Havertz is not naturally a number 9. As per, Arsenal are currently in talks with Benjamin Sesko, and they are advancing well on both player and club side. And if that goes through, it means Arsenal will have a new striker. Also, Victor Gyokores is open to joining Arsenal. He's actually preferring joining Arsenal to Manchester United or any other team, meaning Arsenal have options and chances are they will sign a new striker. So the question here is, how will Arsenal use the German international? How will Arsenal utilize Kai Havertz? We saw on many occasions there are times when Arsenal could have taken 3 points by that one extra goal from Kai Havertz, and the opportunities were there. Arsenal are one of the top clubs when it comes to creating opportunities. But Kai Havertz was not able to bury those opportunities. He scored the goals, but sometimes not when is needed the most. Sometimes he scores when you're beating West Ham 5-0, and when you're drawing maybe 2-2 with the Brighton, he can't score that extra goal. And that costs the team when it reaches the end of the season, when you're tallying points to determine who wins the league. So if a new striker comes in, how will Kai Havertz be utilized? Will they consider benching maybe someone like Gabriel Martinelli, who I personally think is very good, but he might need to step up his game. Say if Arsenal add someone who is as impactful as Saka on the right, then they have that type of player on the left. If Martinelli could give the impact Saka gives on the right, then Arsenal would have already won the league. But Martinelli doesn't do that. So would they consider using 2 strikers, Sesko or Gyokores, and then Havertz, and then one of them drifts to the left, maybe attracts some defenders, creates space for the other teammates to score? That could be one option. The other option is when maybe Martin Odegaard is either injured or out of form, like it was for most of the part last season. Martin Odegaard wasn't really that so much impactful like he was in the previous season. So could Arsenal consider using Havertz as a 10 sometimes when Odegaard can't produce? I know it's hard to bench your captain, but sometimes when he's not delivering, you might need to do that for the best of the team. I don't know, can Kai Havertz go to the right? Maybe when Saka is injured or tired, we see Saka plays loads of matches, and maybe sometimes when you are like 2-0, you might want to put him off. And so can Havertz go to the right? I'm looking for any options because the midfield is going to be a bit stacked. You have Partey extending his contract. Odegaard is there. You have Rice, Zubimendi is coming in. The midfield is going to be a bit stacked. How best do you think Arsenal will use Kai Havertz? Personally, I would see that Martinelli spot, and unless Martinelli can really step up his game, I think Arsenal might have to go for maybe 4-4-2, using 2 strikers and then one of them drifting to the left, depending on the situation of the game. So give me your comments, and yeah, we see what you people think about it, because I don't think Kai Havertz is a bench player. Is not a bad player, only that is not naturally number 9. What is being asked of him might be too much for him. He might be this number 10 who can score sometimes, but mostly good at creating maybe spaces for his teammates to finish the game off, but not necessarily just him. We saw him unable to bury some opportunities last season, even though he is good and is really improving. I think Arsenal, if really they need to win the title, they need to take that step of signing a new striker. But it leaves them with some questions, of course. And then what happens to Gabriel Jesus? Do they sell him? Do they keep him for squad depth, like we saw when the two strikers, Havertz and Jesus, got injured and they had to use Trossard up front and Merino? Sometimes it wasn't really working out very well. So how will Arsenal use their squad to the best to realize their dream to win the league, which they have been chasing for a couple of last years? Thank you for watching.